Okay, let's begin. So last week we started this topic, who is God? What did we discuss?
God is the supreme creator,
Okay,
controller,
yeah,
enjoyer, and maintainer.
okay, very good. We defined who God is. Okay, the previous session was, prior to previous session was, does God exist? And now this is who is God. So we are trying to define God. So we gave two definitions of God, right? What are those two definitions? One is, as you said, God is supreme creator, proprietor, enjoyer, and controller. Controller means maintainer, basically. Okay, uh, that's one definition of God. The second definition,
He has all the other six.
opulences. Six opulences. Yeah, correct. Aishwaryasya samagrasya viryasya yashya shriyah ऐश्वर्यस्य समग्रस्य वीर्यस्य यशय श्रियः सन्नाभागम इतिंगण. The six opulences are all richness, all beautiful, name and fame, all powerful. Last one is all renunciation. But before that, fifth one. What's the fifth one? Knowledgeable. All knowledgeable. God is all knowledgeable. And the last one, sixth one is renunciation. Yeah. Okay. Uh, so one who possesses all these six opulences in full, 100%, he is Bhagavan, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan. Other devatas, for example, Shiva or Brahma, Indra, Varuna, Vayu, or to that matter, even people in this material world also, they possess these opulences to some extent, to some degree, but not in 100%. Uh, for example, we might see a richest person in this world, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, all these people, they possess maybe 0.000001% of the opulence of Supreme God Bhagavan. But they also have that. Okay, so qualitatively, they also have that opulence. And we also discussed three aspects of God. So what are those three aspects of God? Three aspects of God. Brahman, yes. Paramatma, yeah. And then Bhagavan. Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Brahmeti Paramatmeti iti shabdyate. So there is a shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam. Vadanti tat tattva vidas tattvam वदन्ति तत्तत्त्वविदस् तत्त्वं यज्ञानमद्वयं ब्रह्मेति परमात्मेति भगवान इति शब्द्यते. So the three aspects of God are Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So what is Brahman? No, that is Brahma. Yeah, Brahma is different, Brahman is different. So Brahma is the creator, okay? And Brahman, energy, the all-pervading energy in this material world. Okay? It is that aspect of God by which God exists in his unmanifested form throughout this world. Unmanifested form means a form that we cannot see. Okay? Actually, there is no form. It's energy of the Lord through which he exists or he pervades this entire material world. Okay? Sarvam Kalu Idham Brahma. If you go to other spiritual organizations where they teach impersonalism or the so-called Mayavadis, the impersonal people are those who believe that God does not have any form. God is Nirguna, Nirakara, no form, no qualities, So for them, that Brahman is the only aspect of God. There's nothing else. For them, God means Brahman only. So they say Sarvam Kalu Idam Brahma, which is true, but that's not the complete realization, or that's not the only aspect of God. There is Paramatma and Bhagavan also. Okay? And then the next one, Paramatma. So what is Paramatma feature? Hmm? Yeah, so super soul. Paramatma is super soul, which stays along with the soul. And Paramatma, what are the two attributes of Paramatma? Are the two functions of Paramatma, two activities that the Paramatma does. Hmm? Very good. Observer, yeah, and then observer, and what's the second one? Super soul is always sitting right next to the soul and watching all the activities of the soul. Whatever the soul is doing, super soul is always watching. Now somebody, yes, very good. Permitter, observer and permitter. Okay, these are two attributes or functions of super soul. Upadrashta, Anumanta. Upadrashta is observer. Anumanta is permitter. Okay, so there is a shloka from Bhagavad Gita chapter 13 where Krishna explains about Paramatma. Okay, Upadrashta, Anumanta cha, Bharta, Bhokta, Maheshwaram. Okay, so these are the three aspects. And the final one, Bhagavan. So what is Bhagavan feature? That we already discussed. Bhagavan is that personality who has all the six opulences in full, and it is the personal feature or personal aspect of God. Brahman is not a personal aspect. It's a unmanifested form or impersonal aspect of God. Paramatma, Paramatma is also personal, but it's not the actual form of God. In general, the Paramatma in everyone's heart region, it's actually four-handed Narayana form, holding Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. Everyone is familiar with that form. Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, holding these four things in four hands. So in general, the Paramatma feature or the Paramatma Rupam is that one, is that of a Narayana and Vishnu, the four-handed Chaturbhuja form. But depending on the mood and the form that a particular devotee worships, the Paramatma can assume that particular form. For example, if somebody is so attracted to Bala Gopala of Krishna, okay, the beautiful Bala Gopala, form of Krishna, and somebody is so attracted to all the activities and leelas performed by Krishna as a little boy, like Krishna used to go to all the gopis' homes and steal butter, do all those naughty things. So if somebody is so attracted to that Bala Gopala form, Krishna can assume, or Paramatma can assume Bala Gopala form in the heart region. Okay, and to see Paramatma form, a yogi has to follow the yogic process, Ashtanga Yoga. They have to perform Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga Yoga is a 8-limb process, starting with Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi. These are the 8 limbs of Ashtanga Yoga. It starts with Yama and Niyama, do's and don'ts. There are some rules and regulations. Okay, a yogi has to go to a secluded place. Yogi must be a celibate brahmachari, and then they have to sit on a deer skin with a proper posture, and then they have to look at the tip of the nose Uh, so all these do's and don'ts. And then there is asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and finally samadhi. So when samadhi is the stage of perfection in Ashtanga Yoga process, samadhi is the highest stage, which is the stage of perfection. So in that stage, a yogi can see the Paramatma form. Yogi can see the Chaturbhuja Narayana or Vishnu form. They'll get darshan. Okay, but it's not a complete realization of God. Okay, the complete realization of God or the complete aspect of God with all the six opulences in full is Bhagavan, the personal form, the two-handed Shama Sundara form of Krishna. You can see in that poster there on the wall. You see the three-folded, the Tribhanga Shama Sundara form, holding flute, two hands, most beautiful, form of Krishna. Okay, so that is Bhagavan, and Paramatma is the Chaturbhuja form, Narayana or Vishnu in general. Okay, and so the uh, Bhagavan feature of Krishna is the one which is the source of all incarnations. All the Dashavatara Stotra, Dashavatara stories that your kids are learning in the class, Krishna is the source of all these Dashavataras. Ramavatara, Narasimha, Vamana, Varaha, Matsya, Kurma, Buddha, Venkateshwara. Venkateshwara is not in the Dashavatara, but Venkateshwara is also an incarnation of Krishna. In Kali Yuga, that's the incarnation of Krishna in Kali Yuga. So Krishna is the source of all these incarnations, avatars. Now the best way to understand these three aspects of God, Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan, is using a train example. Train. Okay? So let's say there is somebody who have never seen train in their life. Okay? I still remember, in our childhood days, when train station was there, was planned in our hometown, and then the train was supposed to come there. That was the first time we were going to see train. Before that, we never had experience of seeing the train. So for a person who is going to see the train for the first time, so what will be their experience? They go to the railway station and then they wait there on the platform. So after waiting there for some time, what is the first thing that they will experience? Which aspect of the train they will experience first? Sound. Okay. Even before they could see the train, so they will hear the train sound. Okay. Uh, that can be compared to the Brahman aspect of God. And then after a few minutes, they'll see the light. After sound, they'll see the light. Okay, that can be compared to Paramatma realization. Okay, so sound, there's no form, they cannot see anything, they can just hear. But when they see light, they can see something. But can they say that the light itself is the train? No, light itself is not train. Light is one feature or aspect of train. Now, if that person waits another minute or two, he will see the train actually on the platform. Not only the train, but he will see all the people inside the train and all the hangama that happens in the train, the people walking here and there, and then the chai wala selling tea, samosas, so many things, right? So he can experience the whole thing. So that is Bhagavan. Okay, full of all qualities, full of all opulences, and always accompanied by his associates. Just like in the train, you see not only the driver, but you see all the people, passengers sitting in it. So similarly, Bhagavan means not only uh, the Shamasundara Krishna, but all his associates. Okay, so it's the complete aspect of God. So what else did we discuss last week? And we discussed some references from Bhagavad Gita where Krishna mentioned he is the supreme creator, he is the supreme proprietor, controller, and enjoyer. Okay, when he's creating everything, he's controlling everything, he's owning everything, he can be the enjoyer of everything. He has the right to enjoy everything. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarva bhutanam jnatva mam shantim ruchati. So Krishna says uh, that I am the supreme enjoyer. Supreme creator from Bhagavad Gita chapter 9 shloka 8. Then supreme controller मयाध्यक्षेन प्रकृति सूयते सचराचरम हेतुनानेन कौन्तेय जगत विपरीवर्तते. The material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, producing all moving and non-moving beings. Under its rule, the manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. Controller means both maintainer and destroyer. Okay, in the end, he will destroy everything. Supreme enjoyer. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarva bhutanam jnatva mam shantim ruchati. Bhokta means enjoyer. He is the ultimate enjoyer. Everything that happens in the material world, the ultimate enjoyer is Krishna. Okay? And supreme enjoyer. Yeah. But what's the problem in the material world? Here Krishna is saying he is the enjoyer. But the problem in the material world is we think we are the enjoyer. We think we are the controller. We think we are the maintainer. We think we are the creator. We think we are everything. But we are nothing. We are just nothing. Krishna is the creator, proprietor, controller, maintainer, enjoyer, everything. We just have to be an instrument in God's hand. Okay? God has some task for us, some service for us. We just have to perform that service like an instrument in his hands. Okay? Nimitta matram bhavasavya sachi. In chapter 11, Vishwarupa Sandarshana Yoga, Krishna tells to Arjuna, Krishna shows the universal form, the gigantic universal form, and Krishna also shows how all the Kauravas are getting killed and they are entering into Krishna's mouth just like a firefly enters the fire and dies. Krishna shows all of that to Arjuna and says that, "Oh Arjuna, I have killed all these Kauravas. Now you just become an instrument, get up and fight and take all the credit." Krishna is telling Arjuna, you take all the credit. I have already killed by my arrangement. I have already killed them. But you just get up, fight and become an instrument, get up and fight and take all the credit. Okay? Just like how a parent, he would help, he or she would help the child do all the things and then, do all the homework. And in the end, what do we ask? Beta, just write your name now. Just write your name. So, Krishna is also very compassionate. He does everything, but he gives the credit to us. So, we just have to get rid of the controller and proprietor mentality. Okay? Now, there is another shloka from Bhagavad Gita. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. Aham sarvasya prabhavo. Everything emanates from me, both in the spiritual world and material world. Okay? In the spiritual world, even though God has not created anybody, but as we discussed, right? He is the source of the existence of all the spirit souls. uh, Spirit souls cannot exist without Krishna. So he is the maintainer. So he is the source of the existence of the jivas in spiritual world as well as in the material world. Okay. So like this, there are several shlokas in Bhagavad Gita where Krishna tells about his opulences and his position as Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself tells that he is God. Now, tomorrow somebody comes and tells, Ashish, he comes and tells, Aham sarvasya prabhavo, matta sarvam pravartate. He tells, I am God. You know, we see that all the time. In India especially, we see that all the time. We'll see self-proclaimed God men in every street. So how do we believe who is God and who is not? How do we differentiate?
First all the six organs is what we have discussed.
Yeah.
They should be ready for all the renunciation. That's the main point.
Yes. Yeah. That's one check. Okay. The first check is opulences. They should be very beautiful. They should be very handsome. If somebody is claiming that they are God, they should be very handsome, very beautiful. But what we are seeing, all the so-called God men are God women. There are some women also who are claiming as Amma Bhagavan. Have you heard Amma Bhagavan? Yeah, Amma Bhagavan, Kalki Bhagavan. Uh, there is somebody from Tamil Nadu or Kerala. What's her name? Karunamayi? Huh? Amritanandamayi. Correct. Yeah, Amritanandamayi. Huh? There is Karunamayi also, somebody. Yeah. So there are 2, 3 women also. So they should be the most handsome, most beautiful. They should be the Miss World or, Mr. World. But how are these people? They're okay. They're not ugly, at least. I mean, some of them are ugly also. Uh, but they are not the most handsome, most beautiful people. So, as she mentioned, that's the first check, opulences. Okay? Okay, let's assume they are beautiful, they are handsome. Simple check that you can do is, hey, can you drop me at my home? Can you drive the car for me? They'll not be able to do it. Yeah. They cannot renounce their position. They cannot renounce their prestige, name, and fame. Okay? Uh, and then another check that we have not discussed is uh, universal form. Krishna showed universal form to Arjuna. A person who is claiming as God, God man, or God woman, they should be able to show universal form. So, what exactly is universal form? Is everybody aware of universal form? The Vishwarupa form. So, what exactly it is? Hmm?
Beyond human forms.
Yeah. It's beyond comprehension of our ability. So, universal form is that gigantic form. Okay, let me show you the picture here. Picture speaks better than words. Yeah, this one. This is the classic Vishwarupa form. Are you able to see? Okay. So this is the gigantic universal form that Krishna shows to Arjuna in chapter 11 of Bhagavad Gita, where Arjuna could see everything in that universal form. Everything means the three planetary systems: the earthly planet, heavenly planets, and hellish planets. He could see everything in that universal form. Sitting in one place in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Arjuna could see everything from three planetary systems, including Krishna and Arjuna. In the universal form, Arjuna was able to see himself, including Krishna, including all the Kauravas on the battlefield. But the Kauravas on the battlefield, he saw in the Kalarupa form. You see on the surrounding, you see the Kalarupa form, left and right side, you see the Bhayankara, fearful Kalarupa form, where Krishna's mouth is extinguishing fire. So that's the Kalarupa form. First Krishna shows universal form, and then he shows that fearful Kalarupa form. So there Arjuna could see all the Kauravas entering into Krishna's mouth, just like fireflies enter into fire and they give their life. Okay? So this is the universal form.
Planetary system align with, like, we say that our goal is to reach heaven, which is Vaikuntha.
Yeah.
So is heaven considered lesser than Vaikuntha?
Yes.
And if you reach hell, does it mean that you restart your the janmas?
Yes. Not only hell, but even in the earthly planet.
We have that.
Yeah, even in the earthly planet, somebody can take birth as an insect or an animal. So it's almost like starting from zero only.
So hell is a representation of, in between janmas you spend time in hell.
No. So hellish planet is the lower planetary system. So life in hellish planetary systems is more miserable than earthly planet. Life in heavenly planets is enjoyable. Okay, there is unlimited amount of enjoyment, and the lifespan is also much longer. 10,000 years versus 100 years here. Okay, and a person who has committed abominable sins, they will be pushed down to hellish planets. So for them, the overall life cycle or overall time frame to get rid of this Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi cycle is much longer than people who are on the earthly planetary system. Because first uh, they have to get purified from hellish planets, come to earthly planet, and from earthly planet go to spiritual world. So if somebody commits some sins, not so abominable sinful activities, but some kind of sinful activities, then they will take birth in the same earthly planetary system as another human being who can suffer, or an animal, same earthly planet. Yeah. So is that clear, or yeah? So, and as you said, heavenly planet is part of the material world only. It's lower than lower than spiritual world. It's within the material world. The lifespan is much longer, but they will also die. After 10,000 years, they will also die.
So all the other gods that we have, like Shiva, Indra.
Except Shiva. Except Shiva, Indra, Varuna, Vayu, all these devatas, they are in Swargaloka, heavenly planets. Shiva's position is a little different. So Shiva is almost like Supreme. So Krishna is Supreme. He is Bhagavan, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Devadi Deva, right? Uh, Lord Shiva's position is almost equal to Krishna. Is almost supreme, but not supreme. Okay? The difference is just like that of milk and yogurt. Milk and yogurt, in one sense, they are one and same. But in the other sense, they are not one and same. They both come from milk. The source is milk. And milk, when you see milk in the milk form, you cannot say that there is no yogurt in that. There is yogurt. But you just have to, the milk has to go through certain process. But there is yogurt. In the milk form also, there is yogurt. We cannot see that, but there is yogurt. And when the milk is converted to yogurt, can we say that there is no milk in that? No. There is milk in that. We cannot see that, but there is milk in that also. So it's a different form. In one instance, it's a milk form. In another instance, it's a yogurt form. So the same Lord Krishna assumes the form of Shiva for the purpose of annihilation or destruction. And the same Krishna, he assumes the form of Vishnu for the purpose of maintenance.
What is the meaning of this picture?
The meaning of this picture, yes, I'm going to tell you now. And then, since we discussed Vishnu and Shiva, the third personality is Brahma, obviously, right? So this is the picture of Brahma sitting on lotus. Yeah. So Brahma,
That person is Narada.
that is Narada, yes. Yeah. So Narada is the disciple of Brahma. Brahma is the disciple of Krishna, and Narada is the disciple of Brahma. And Vyasadev is disciple of Narada, and so on. So here, the picture that you see is Brahma sitting on lotus flower. The Trimukha form of Brahma, three-headed form of Brahma. In some planets, Brahma may have 4 heads. In some planets, Brahma may have eight heads, and so on. And Brahma lives in a different planet, not in earthly planet, not in heavenly planet, but he is in a planet called Satya Loka. That's higher than heavenly planet. Okay? So Ganesha, yeah, Ganesha has a spiritual body and then material body, both. Okay? In fact, the Mahabharata, from where Bhagavad Gita came, right? Bhagavad Gita is part of Bhishma Parva from Mahabharata. Mahabharata is a very vast literature, right? There are, I believe, 100,000 shlokas in Mahabharata. Okay? Bhagavad Gita, 700 shlokas. Srimad Bhagavatam, 18,000 shlokas. Ramayana, 25,000 shlokas. And Mahabharata, 100,000 shlokas. So, Mahabharata is divided into some sections called as Parvas. Bhishma Parva, Aranya Parva, and so on. Virata Parva, and so on. So, Bhagavad Gita, the 700 shlokas that we have been reading, discussing, and then we are going to discuss in great detail afterwards, that comes from Bhishma Parva of Mahabharata. So, the whole Mahabharata was written by Ganesh. Does everyone know the story of how Ganesh wrote Mahabharata? So it's actually Vyasadev who compiled, but when Vyasadev decided to compile the Vedas and Mahabharata especially, he was looking for somebody who can write very fast. Okay? He was looking for a stenographer. Okay. So then he consulted all the Devatas and especially Shiva, and then everybody suggested Ganesha's name. They said Ganesha is the best person to help you in this case. He's a fast writer. He can write whatever you say. So then Vasudeva asks Ganesha, will you help me with this job? Ganesha agrees. But Ganesha puts a condition saying that I'll help you write Vedas and Mahabharata, but only on one condition. The condition is, once you start speaking, you should not stop. Okay, Vasudev, once he starts speaking, he should not stop. That's the condition put by Ganesha. Vasudeva agrees, but he also puts a condition to Ganesha, saying that, yes, I can speak non-stop, but you cannot write anything that you don't understand. you cannot write anything that you don't understand. So you write only when you understand. So then Vasudeva starts speaking, and then Ganesh starts writing, and in between, when there is complex philosophy or complicated philosophy or shlokas, then it takes some time for Ganesha to understand, right? Then he pauses. So when he is pausing to write, then Vasudeva is thinking about further shlokas. So like that, in such a nice coalition, both Vasudeva and Ganesh, they both sit down, and Ganesh is the one who writes Mahabharata, which includes Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So Ganesha, who is the son of Shiva and Parvati, he also has a special position because his father Shiva has a special position, almost like supreme. So Ganesha, even though he is Devata, demigod, but he has a special position. So here in this particular slide here, Brahma is glorifying Lord Krishna as Supreme Personality. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradhir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Sarva Karana Karanam. That means he is the cause of all causes. This we discussed already. In the second topic, does God exist? We were trying to understand the origin of this whole existence. That time we discussed Krishna is the cause of all causes and he has no cause. Sarva Karana Karanam. Ishvara Parama Krishna. Now oftentimes we hear this word Parameshwara, right? And Parameshwara, according to our understanding, is Lord Shiva. But the actual Parameshwara is Krishna. Parama Ishvara. Ishvara means controller. Parama means the highest. The highest controller. The supreme controller is Krishna. Now who is saying this? Brahma is saying. It's not Krishna, or it's not Vasudeva, or it's not somebody else. It's Brahma who is saying this. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha. Sachidananda Vigraha means his body. Krishna's body, Vigraha means his body, is made up of Satchit Ananda. Just like how our body is made up of earth, water, fire, air, ether, the Pancha Mahabhuta. Similarly, Krishna's body and even our body in the spiritual world is also made up of Sat, Chit, Ananda. Now we cannot comprehend this, right? How can a body be made up of Sat, Chit, Ananda? They seem to be some abstract phenomena. How can a body be made up of Sat, Chit, Ananda? Now, when a body can be made up of a lower nature matter, why can't the body be made up of the higher nature Satchidananda? It is just that with our material perception, we cannot understand how that is possible. But all the spirit souls and Krishna, everybody in the spiritual world, their bodies are made up of Sat, Chit, Ananda. Now, what are these Satchidananda? Sat means truth. Okay? Chit means consciousness or knowledge. Okay? Ananda is bliss. So the three components are Sat. There are two meanings of Sat: truth and eternal. Truth and eternal. Just now we spoke about Ganesha. We can hear Ganesha glorifications. Yeah. Sat, Chit, Ananda. Eternal, knowledge, and bliss. These are the three components. Now just imagine a body is made up of these three components. Just like how a body is made up of calcium, iron, phosphorus, and so on. A body made up of Sat, Chit, Ananda. Now we cannot understand this. For us, these three terms, they look like some abstract phenomena. But these are the constituents of the body. And these are the qualities of the soul also. And these are the constituents of the spiritual body. These are the qualities as well as constituents of the spiritual body. Anadir Adir Govinda. Anadir means no beginning. Anadir Adir Govinda. Anadir and Adi. No beginning and no end. Krishna has no beginning and no end. And his name is Govinda, Krishna. Sarvakarana Karanam. So this is a shloka from Brahma Samhita. Okay. Now here Krishna himself is saying that he is the supreme. From Bhagavad Gita chapter 7, shloka number 7. Mattaha parataram nanyat kinchid asti dhananjaya mai sarvam idam protam sutre manigana iva. Krishna is saying, O conqueror of wealth, there is no truth superior to me. That means he is the absolute truth. There is no truth superior to me means there is nothing beyond me. I am the absolute truth. There is nothing beyond me. Okay? Everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. So just like when you see a necklace, right? A pearl necklace. What do you see? You see only the pearls. You don't see the thread behind. So Krishna is like that thread who pervades by his energy in this material world, but we cannot see him. And everything that's happening in the material world is happening under his guidance. But we cannot see that. Just like how we cannot see the thread in a necklace. And what are his qualities? There are two categories of qualities. Bhagavan has, Lord Krishna as Bhagavan has two sets of qualities. Aishwarya and Madhurya. The left side, Aishwarya, right side, Madhurya. Majestic and sweet. So, Aishwarya qualities are those by which we consider God as a powerful entity. Okay? Something very powerful, gigantic. And these are the qualities of that category. Supreme creator, supreme proprietor, supreme knower, supreme controller, supreme enjoyer, and so on. So Aishwarya means opulence. Okay. Now when somebody is all rich, all beautiful, all powerful, all influential, all knowledgeful, we definitely respect them. We respect them with awe and reverence. Okay, but we don't dare to go near them because we think that they are not accessible. They are not easily accessible. Just like President. President is very rich. He is all powerful. He is very influential. He has so much of knowledge. Everything. Except renunciation, he has everything. So when we see a personality like President, we respect them with awe and reverence. But can we even afford to go near him? No. From distance, we can respect him with awe and reverence. So Krishna's qualities in the Aishwarya category, the majestic qualities, they are exhibited in Vishnu form. They are exhibited in the Vishnu form. That's why the Vishnu resides in Vaikuntha. Krishna resides in Goloka. Vishnu resides in Vaikuntha. So in Vaikuntha, the kind of worship that they perform is with awe and reverence. A-W-E, awe means like with, how do I explain? Awe and reverence. It's self-explanatory, right? Awe and reverence, great respect. Okay? So that's the kind of worship in Vaikuntha Loka. Okay? Whereas in Goloka Vrindavana, it's Madhurya Bhava. Sweet, very sweet. You can play with Krishna. You can actually you don't treat Krishna like God. In Bhuloka Vrindavana, near Mathura, near in UP state, when Krishna appeared 5,000 years ago, right? When Krishna was performing all his leelas, what kind of activities he performed? He was playing with all his Gopa boys, his friends. They were all sitting together, after playing, they were sitting in together and eating lunch together, sharing food. Yeah, very good. And Krishna's close friend Madhumangala, when he was eating some food, and Madhumangal says, "Oh, this sweet is so delicious." Then Krishna used to take a bite from Madhumangala's mouth and put in his mouth. Huh? Or Krishna used to eat yogurt with pickle, and the pickle and yogurt were dripping down, and Krishna was licking his fingers, yogurt and pickle. Now, looking at all this, will anybody believe that he is God? Generally, our worship of God, see, when you go to the temple hall here, right? You see beautiful opulent decoration of Balaji, and then nowhere we can imagine these kind of activities with Balaji. Whereas with Krishna's form, you can have this kind of relationship, Madhurya Bhava. You can have a relationship with Krishna as a friend, as a parent in Vatsalya Bhava, or as a conjugal lover in a Madhurya Rasa, like a husband or lover, and so on. So the Madhurya Bhava, both are equally good. Aishwarya Bhava, Madhurya Bhava, both are good. But Madhurya Bhava is more relishable. Madhurya Bhava is more relishable. It's more pleasing to the soul. Sweetest of all. Okay? The real hero, my sweet Lord. Okay? Now, having understood about Krishna's position as Supreme Personality of God, okay? Now we may question, then why there are so many gods? How many gods do we have? We heard multiple things, right? Mukkoti Devatalu, 3 crores, and then we heard 33 crore Devatas. So whatever it is, 3 crore or 33 crore, some number, okay? So the question may arise, why do we have so many Devatas? Why do we have so many Devatas? The English word for Devata is demigod. Okay? Now when you are reading Bhagavad Gita book, you might see this word, demigod. Okay? If you have not heard this word before, demigod means Devata. Like Indra, Varuna, Vayu, Agni. These are all Devatas. So why do we have so many Devatas? If there is one God, it's very easy, right? To believe, and one process, one path, one God, one mantra. Very simple. We don't have to struggle so much. So since childhood, we have been hearing so many things. So let's try to understand this word polytheism. Okay, first of all, what's the word? What's the meaning of the word theism? Theism means belief in God. Theism means belief in God. Theist means a person who believes in God, as opposed to atheist, a person who does not believe in God. And there are different kinds of theism. Monotheism, believing in one God. Polytheism, believing in multiple gods. So we'll try to understand what's the difference between monotheism and polytheism. Lord Krishna and Devatas. So if you look at other religions, right, like Islam and Christianity, Jewish and other religions, they have only one God. Whereas only in our religion, the so-called Hindu religion, we have 33 crore devatas. So Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, shloka number 22, Name vidu suragana prabhavam na maharshayah aham adirhi devanam maharshinam cha sarvashah. Neither the hosts of demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulence. For in every respect, I am the source of the demigods and sages. Now it is little complicated and you don't understand. Don't worry. So basically, Krishna is saying here that there are several thousands of demigods and sages and great sages, and and I am the source of all these demigods and sages. Huh? So Krishna is saying that he is the source of all these demigods, and they do not know about his origin. Everyone knows the story of Brahma, how Brahma was born and what happened after he was born. So Brahma comes from the navel of Mahavishnu. Okay, from Mahavishnu is lying down in the causal ocean. In the spiritual world, in the Vaikuntha Loka, Mahavishnu is lying down in the causal ocean. And then from his navel arises a lotus flower. And Brahma is born in that lotus flower. There is a gigantic stem sprouting from the navel of Mahavishnu, and at the end of the long and gigantic sprout, what is it? Stem. Yeah, long gigantic stem that has sprouted from Mahavishnu's navel. At the end of it, there is a lotus flower, and Brahma sits on the lotus flower. Now, when Brahma opens his eyes, he sees nothing but dark around him. He does not see anything. It's all dark. He opens his eyes. As soon as he is born, he opens his eyes, and he could not see anything. Everything is dark. And he just hears two syllables. Ta, pa. Meaning tapa, tapas. He just hears these two syllables. Ta, pa. He hears those two words repeatedly, tapa. And then Brahma understands that, okay, I have to meditate. And he starts meditating. And then he starts meditating for several thousands of years. And then finally, Krishna or Mahavishnu appears. And then he tells him what is his role, what is he supposed to do. As a creator in the material world, his job is to create people and to create things. So, even though Brahma is born out of Mahavishnu, but he still does not know the origin of Vishnu or Krishna, because it's very difficult to know about Krishna. It's very difficult to know about Krishna through yogic processes, through meditative processes, and so on. But it is possible to know about Krishna through bhakti. When you worship Krishna with bhakti, devotion, and perform devotional service to Krishna, then we can understand his tattva. We can understand his guna, we can understand his leelas, we can understand his tattva, and so on. Okay?
We call Brahma as the creator. When we all actually came from there to here.
Yeah.
We are not created per se.
We were not created in the spiritual world, but in the material world, we are created. This body is created. And it is the Brahma who creates. So even though we call Krishna as the supreme creator, but Brahma is the secondary creator. So there are two processes called Sarga and Visarga. Krishna does Sarga and Brahma does Visarga. Primary creation by Krishna, secondary creation by Brahma. So primary creation means, what does Krishna do? He creates the matter. He creates the matter and gives it to Brahma. It's like raw material. And Krishna also gives the recipe. He gives the architecture, the design, and everything. And Brahma does secondary creation. Yeah. Okay. There is another shloka in 3rd chapter where Krishna talks about the Devatas. Ishtan bhogan hi o deva dasyante yajna bhavitaha tair dattan apradayabhyo yo bhunkte stena eva saha. In charge of the various necessities of life, the demigods, being satisfied by the performance of yajna, will supply all necessities to you. But he who enjoys such gifts without offering them to the demigods in return is certainly a thief. So what Krishna is saying is, the different demigods or devatas, they are entrusted with some responsibilities to maintain some departments in the universal government. Like Indra, he's the head of all devatas. He's the king of all devatas. And Varuna, he is the god of rain and water. And Agni, he is the god of fire. Vayu, he is the god of air. So all these devatas, Indra, Varuna, Vayu, and so on, they are all entrusted with some responsibilities to maintain some departments in the universal government. Now, when Varuna is supplying rain to us, now we should have gratitude for him, right? We should have gratitude, especially in Seattle. We should have more gratitude. We should have much more gratitude. And if we go to Dallas, they should have much more gratitude to Agni. So how can we pay our gratitude to all these devatas? See, they are all supplying all these necessities. And have we ever received any bill from Indra, Varuna, Vayu? No, we have not received any bill from them. But it is our responsibility. Not only responsibility, it is, they call it as a Rina, right? You know what Rina is? Debt. Pitra Runa, Rishi Runa, Devata Runa. What else? There are 5 kinds of Rinas. Pitra Runa, Rishi Runa, Devata Runa, Matra Runa, Jantu Runa. Correct. Jantu Runa. Yeah. 5 kinds of Rinas. Every person is indebted to these 5 categories of jivas. Okay, Pitra Runa. That means the debt that we have to pay off to our father and the forefathers, Pitra Devatas. Matra Runa means the debt that we have to pay off to our mother, the mother who has given birth to us, which can never be paid off. Okay? And Rishi Runa, the debt that we have to pay off to the sages, all the saintly people, all the acharyas, saintly people, that is Rishi Runa. And Jantu Runa is the debt that we have to pay off to animals, especially cow. We get milk from cow. Cow milk is the best food that anybody can have. Unfortunately, in India, they drink buffalo milk. But cow milk is the best milk among everything else. Okay? So we are indebted to all these animals. And horses, they are very powerful. Horses can perform some jobs. Bulls, they can help plow the fields. Bulls, they can help move some carts and bullock carts. Different animals have different purposes. So we are indebted to all these animals. Similarly, Devataruna. We are indebted to pay off to all these devatas who are supplying all these necessities in our life. Now, how can we pay off to devatas? By performing yajna, fire sacrifice. So when they have you ever observed when a pujari is reciting mantras during the homam or a fire sacrifice? Om Indraya Swaha. uh, So they take the names of all the devatas. So and they ask you to put grains, flowers, fruits, ghee, everything. And they are offering everything to all these devatas. That's what Krishna is saying here. In charge of, okay, let me delete this for some time. Yeah. In charge of the various necessities of life, the demigods, being satisfied by the performance of yajna, sacrifice, will supply all necessities to you. That's why they say, right, when there are no rains for a longer time, the saintly people will recommend to perform yajnas, and there will be rains. But he who enjoys such gifts without offering them to the demigods in return is certainly a thief. Isn't that true? We are highly indebted. Every day we are receiving these gifts from them. We are receiving free air, free sunlight, free moonlight, free water, everything free. Can't we sit in the fire sacrifice once in a month? Or once in 6 months, once in a year? So next time when you see a fire sacrifice, wherever it is, whether you are doing it by yourself, you are sponsoring, you are organizing at your home, or when you go to a temple and you see fire sacrifice happening there, you sit there with an attitude of gratitude and you pay some grains and fruits and flowers. They'll be satisfied. Devatas will be satisfied. Yeah. And there are some people in the Brahmana Kula, there are some people who perform fire sacrifice every day. Every day they do fire sacrifice. I have seen some of my friends, even in US, they have a small arrangement in the backyard to perform the yajna every day. Nitya yajna. Yeah, nitya yajna. There are two benefits of doing nitya yajna. One is we are paying our debts to these devatas, and when you are performing fire sacrifice yajna, it emanates some kind of smoke, right? And that is very beneficial for the environment and also for our health. When you inhale that smoke, it kills all the virus and everything inside your body and in the environment. So it's so beneficial. Yeah, environmentally and for our health also. Okay, next, moving on. Now let's try to understand the differences between Devatas and Bhagavan. Devatas are many, Bhagavan is only one. Bhagavan is the supreme whole, supreme creator, whereas Devatas are part and parcel of Bhagavan. They are like children of Krishna. Just like how we are all children of Krishna, part and parcel, Devatas are also part and parcel, but of higher ability, higher nature. They live in a higher world. Bhagavan is the supreme controller, supreme creator. Devatas are delegated with various grades of power to manage affairs of material creation. Bhagavan is independent, whereas Devatas, they derive their power from Krishna. If Varuna is capable of creating rains, where is he getting that power from? Krishna. If sun is capable of producing so much of energy, where is that power coming from? From Krishna. So all the devatas, they are dependent on Krishna for their abilities. Okay. Now when you perform pujas for any benefit, for any material benefit, there are different kinds of pujas given in the Vedas for various purposes. Vidyarthi labate vidyam, dhanarthi labate dhanam, putratri labate putram. There are different mantras and different pujas for every benefit. And when you perform pujas as prescribed in the Vedas, you will get those benefits. Some pujas you have to perform like 14 days, 21 days, and you will get those benefits. The devatas will be pleased by the puja that you perform, and they will give those gifts or boons. But where are they getting those boons from? From Krishna. Okay? Bhagavan is supremely independent. Devatas are subordinate to the will of Supreme. Bhagavan is completely spiritual. He has a spiritual body, no birth, no old age, no disease, and no death. Whereas Devatas, they have material bodies, just like us, and hence they are subjected to birth, old age, disease, and death. So why it is important to know the differences is, many times people think that the Devatas are God. Devatas are God. But Devatas are demigods. They are not God. God is only one. Eko bahuna, Vedas say, Eko bahunam vitiya nasti. God is only one. Eko bahunam vitiya na asti. Na asti means does not exist. Eko bahunam. Eka means one. Bahunam. Nam means name. Bahunam means multiple names. That one God is known by multiple names. Krishna, Rama, Narasimha, Vamana, Varaha, Matsya, Kurma, Muhammad, Jesus, and so on. Different names. But Allah, not Muhammad, Jesus, Allah, okay? Jesus, he never said he is God. He always said, I am son of God. Muhammad also, he never said I am God. He said, I am prophet of God. I am a messenger of God. Shirdi Sai Baba also, he never said I am God. He's a devotee of God, or he's a guru, he's a servant of God. That's all he said. But people made him God. If you ask people in Telugu states and Tamil Nadu, who is your God? They say Shirdi Sai Baba is my God. But we can worship Shirdi Sai Baba as a guru, as a spiritual master who shows the path to Krishna. And in fact, if you read Sai Satcharit Manasa, the autobiography of Sai Baba, it is clearly mentioned Sai Baba only asked to construct a temple for Krishna. In fact, during his lifetime, he started the construction of temple for Krishna. So, and some people consider Satya Sai Baba as God. Some people consider Nityananda as God. So all these misconceptions are there in the society. So some people may consider one of the devatas, Indra, as God, because Indra himself, once upon a time, Indra himself considered he is God. That's how the Govardhana pastime, the Govardhana Leela happened, right? So in Vrindavana, in Bhuloka Vrindavana, in Uttar Pradesh state, when all the people, all the Vrajavasis, when they were worshipping Govardhana hill, Indra saw that and he got angry. He said, why are you all worshipping Govardhana? You should all worship me. I am the supreme. I am God. So Indra himself considered himself as God. So then, but still, the Vrajavasis, the people of Vrindavan, they did not listen to Indra. they kept on worshipping Govardhana only. And then Indra got angry, and then he started pouring torrential rain. For 7 days, he started pouring torrential rain that people could not even stand on the streets or anywhere. They had to run away, okay, here and there. Then Krishna came and lifted Govardhana hill with his pinky finger when he was 7 years old. Okay, he lifted the Govardhana hill with his pinky finger and held it like that for 7 days and 7 nights to protect all the people and the cows. So all the people and cows, they took shelter under the Govardhana hill. So with this Leela, Krishna showed to Indra that, hey Indra, you are not the god, I am the god. You're trying to, disturb these people, but I am protecting them with my power. So, yeah, I mean, oftentimes people consider different personalities as God because they do not know the differences like this. And all these, Indra, Varuna, Vayu, Agni, including Brahma, these are all posts. When we say Brahma, it is not one person. It is a post. It's a seat, it's a position. So during particular time, a person will occupy that position or post, and after that, he will leave this material world, he will die, and another person will come and occupy that position. Same thing for Indra, Varuna, Vayu, Agni, and so on. Brahma's lifespan is much, much, much longer. It's almost like eternity. 3.2 trillion some billion years. Okay, we cannot even comprehend that number. Such is the longevity of Brahma's life. Okay. And now, who are we in relation with God? This we discussed some time ago. We are part and parcel of God. We cannot be God, but we can only be servants of God. We can never become God. If you go to some temples, you will see some interesting quotes there saying that especially the organizations where they self-proclaim as themselves God. They say there, I am not here to prove that I am God, I am here to prove that you are God. Okay? Neither he is God nor we are God. We all belong to God. We are all servants of God. We are all part and parcel of God. Okay? We can never become God. God is only one. We are not gods, but we are gods. We are belonging to God. Every jiva, including from the topmost Brahma to a lowest species of life, everybody has a relationship with God. Even the jivas in the hellish planets, they also have a relationship with God. Even though they are suffering in the hellish planets because of the sinful activities that they have committed, but God likes everyone. If there are 2 or 3 children in the family, for a parent, for the mother and father, both children are equally important. The parent loves both children equally. There's no partiality. Both are equal. For the parent, both are equal. And one child may behave nicely, one child may not behave nicely. One child is always obedient, following all the instructions given by the parents. Other child is never listening. But still, the parent loves both children equally. There's no partiality. Okay? Similarly, there are good people and bad people in the society. There are people in the earthly planet, people in the hellish planets, people in the heavenly planets. But for God, all are equal. Because everybody is a child of God. Everybody is part and parcel of God. Okay? So God is one, and living entities are devatas. There are many. God is complete and whole. He is Purna. Okay. Whereas living entities, we are part and parcel. God is infinite, Vibhu, and living entities are Anu. This infinite and infinitesimal that talks about uh, the quality. Okay. So both God and living entities, that means jivas, both have the same qualities. If God has compassion, we also have compassion. If God has some strength, we also have strength. But what's the difference? God has strength in unlimited quantity, whereas we have strength in minute quantity. So God is Vibhu, infinite. We are Anu, infinitesimal or minute. Now, God is cognizant of everyone and everything because God resides as Paramatma in every living entity. So He knows what's happening in our body, He knows what's happening in everyone's body. Whereas the living entity or Atma, our Jiva, is only aware of what's happening in this body, cognizant of one's body only. And we are subordinate. God is supreme controller and we are subordinate. We are dependent on the Lord. God is supremely independent. We are a loving servitor and God is a loving master. Okay. Aham sarvasya prabhavo, we discussed this shloka already, where Krishna says everything emanates from me both in the spiritual world and material world. Okay. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Okay. Now this is another place where Krishna shows universal form to Mother Yashoda. The other universal form that I showed you earlier, right? That was a universal form Krishna showed to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Now this is another version of universal form that Krishna shows to Mother Yashoda. During the Mridubakshan Leela, where Krishna in his childhood, one day when he is playing with his friends, Gopa boys, so some of his friends, they wanted to tease Krishna. So they go and complain to Mother Yashoda that Krishna has eaten dirt. Actually, Krishna has eaten dirt. Okay? But they take that as an opportunity and they want to go and complain to Mother Yashoda. So that Mother Yashoda can beat Krishna and they'll have some fun. Okay? That's the kind of relation, we can have with Krishna. We cannot imagine something like this with Vishnu or Balaji. Okay? We cannot go to Vakula Devi, who is mother of Balaji, and say that oh, Balaji has eaten dirt. Okay? But with Krishna, we can do these things. So then Mother Yashoda asks Krishna, Krishna, have you eaten dirt? Krishna says, no, Mama, I have not eaten dirt. And then Mother Yashoda asks Krishna to open his mouth. Krishna opens the mouth. And what does Mother Yashoda see? She sees all the Brahmandas. She sees all the Brahmandas, including Krishna and Mother Yashoda there. Yeah. And for a fraction of a second, Mother Yashoda becomes unconscious. Krishna makes her forget whatever she has seen. And then she becomes like a normal mother to Krishna. So, uh, so in several instances, Krishna shows universal form to different people. There was another incident where Krishna showed universal form to Duryodhana. When Duryodhana was trying to arrest Krishna. When Krishna came to Duryodhana's place for what do you call that? For peace. Negotiation. Raibara, peace negotiation. There is a specific term for that, but anyways, peace negotiation. So Duryodhana does not listen. Rather, he tries to arrest Krishna. And then Krishna says, hold on, do you know who I'm talking to? And then Krishna shows his universal form. A partial universal form, not the complete universal form like that was shown to Arjuna, but a partial universal form was shown to Duryodhana, just to threaten him. Even after seeing that, Duryodhana did not learn his lesson. Okay? Even after seeing universal form, he did not acknowledge that Krishna is God. He still considered Krishna as just as a relative of Pandavas. Okay? The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service. Krishna is saying this. Okay? And worship me with all their hearts. So, as a jiva, as a soul, what's our inherent nature? Now, when we are in the material world, we have some nature. But what is our inherent nature for every jiva is to serve God. That's the nature of jiva, nothing else. Now, when you are in the material world, in the conditioned state, we have different natures. We have different qualities, different duties, different responsibilities. But what is our eternal occupation, or what is our eternal nature, is to serve God. That's the eternal nature. That's why when you serve people, you feel happier, right? When you serve people, you feel happier. Simple things like serving prasadam in the prasadam hall downstairs. People feel very happy. People feel as if they are donating, they are giving all the food by themselves. It gives immense happiness. When you are giving, when you are serving others, it gives immense happiness. People generally think when we consume things, we become happy, which is true. But to become more happier than that, you have to give, you have to share, you have to serve. Then you will become more happier, more blissful. So where is this coming from? Where is this nature coming from? This intrinsic nature of serving others to become happy is coming from spiritual world. In the spiritual world, the only one and only nature or one and only occupational duty of jiva is to serve God. Jivera swarupa hoy, Krishnera nitya das. The eternal nature of living entity is to be the servant of the Supreme Lord Krishna. So only when we serve God will be happy. That is the only thing that gives us permanent happiness. Nothing else. You can experiment. You can try different things, many different things, but nothing gives you more happiness than serving God. Okay, it gives you more happiness than serving humanity. It gives you more happiness than serving a dog. It gives you more happiness than serving husband and wife. These are all important. Okay, I'm not saying these are not needed. These are all needed. Serving wife, serving husband, serving your children, serving God, serving dog. These are all needed. But more than all this, the one and only one thing that gives you happiness all the time, at all times, under all circumstances, is service to God. Okay? Unfortunately, we have forgotten that, and we are trying to serve everybody else in this material world. We have forgotten this intrinsic nature of serving God to become happy, and we are thinking, oh, if I serve my manager at office, I'll be more happy. Or if I serve somebody else, I'll become more happy. If I serve this politician, I'll become more happy. I'll get some benefit if I serve this politician. So we think like that. But But we don't have to seek happiness in the external entities. When we serve God, you can derive happiness from within. The happiness is within, Atmaram. That's why the jivas are called Atmaram. Happiness exists within. When we serve God, we can experience that happiness within. Okay? Yes.
What is the difference between happiness when you serve the God and the bliss phase?
Difference between happiness and bliss. Huh? When you serve God, what you experience is actually bliss. Yeah.
Happiness is what? Like temporary?
Happiness is temporary. Yeah. Happiness is temporary. Bliss is permanent. Yeah. Another shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam that talks about service to God. Savai pumsa paro dharmo yato bhaktir adokshaje ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. The supreme occupation, dharma, for all humanity is that by which men and women can attain to loving devotional service unto the transcendental Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self. In simple words, what gives satisfaction to the soul is service to the Lord. Suprasidati. Prasidati means one that one that gives you pleasure, one that pleases you. That is suprasidati. Now, what is that gives us pleasure, or what is that is pleasing to us? Is service to God. Service to God. Where does this word prasida comes from? Or have you heard this word prasida? South Indian people, Telugu, Tamil. Prasida. Huh? Vishnu Sahasranamam. It may be there. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Yeah, it may be there in Vishnu Sahasranamam in one of the names. But more commonly, this is found in Suprabhatam. Vina Venkatesham Nanadho Nanadas Sada Venkatesham Smarami Smarami Hare Venkatesham Prasida Prasida Priyam Venkatesham Prayacha Prayacha. So the author of that Venkateshwara Suprabhatam, I forgot that name actually, some saintly person. So whoever has written this Venkateshwara Suprabhatam prayers, so what is he praying to Venkateshwara? He is saying that Vina Venkatesham Nanadho Nanada. Oh Lord Venkateshwara, I am an orphan. I am an orphan. I am anadha. And I am chanting your names. I am chanting your names all the time. Be pleased by my chanting. Prasida Prasida. Prasida Prasida Priyam Venkatesham Prayacha Prayacha. That means the author is asking Venkateshwara, oh Venkateshwara, be pleased by my prayer and give me the benediction of the remembrance of you all the time. So Prasida means satisfaction or pleasing. The only thing that pleases us or the only thing that gives us satisfaction is service to the Lord. Okay? And that is devotional service, bhakti. The English word for bhakti is devotional service. Oftentimes, it is known as devotion, right? The word bhakti is translated as devotion. But devotion means it's just a feeling, right? Okay, you have a feeling of devotion to God. But it should not be just a feeling. That feeling should be shown in action. When you love somebody, you have to show that in action. When you love somebody, you cannot simply just say that, okay, I have a feeling for love for you. That's my birthday gift. That's not sufficient. You have to show that in action. You have to give a gift. Only then that person will be pleased. So devotion is a feeling of love for God, but that's not enough. You have to show that in your service, devotional service. That is bhakti. Okay, love means action. It's not a verb. Love is not a noun, but it's a verb. When you love somebody, you have to show that in action. It's a verb. It's not just a noun. Similarly, bhakti means devotional service. It's an active engagement in the devotional service. If somebody likes making garlands, flower garlands, do that. If somebody likes cleaning the floor, clean it. If somebody likes serving prasadam in the temple, do that. If somebody likes donating money to the temple, do that. If somebody likes taking care of something else, some technology to support the temple, take care of that. There are various devotional service opportunities. Okay. Yoga, bhakti yoga, right? When we say bhakti, it's actually bhakti yoga. Yoga is generally a process to link to the Supreme God. So living beings, the jivas, when they perform this yoga, bhakti yoga, they are connected to Supreme God. So when we worship God, we should not ask for any material benefits. We should not ask him, "Oh Maruti, please give me a Maruti." Maruti means Hanuman. Other Maruti is Maruti car. So you should not pray to Maruti with an intention to get Maruti car. Okay? So, because when you are praying to Maruti and asking for Maruti, it's a business transaction. There's no love. Okay? So when we worship God, we should not ask for any material benefits. Not even job, not even health, not even money, not even jewelry, nothing. No material benefits. God's worship, not for material benefits, not one day a week. Okay? We say, right, Krishna is Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru. Now, how people translate that as Krishnam one day Jagat Guru. Krishnam one day Jagat Guru. So he's not God just for one day. He's God every day. In fact, for all the devatas, there is a particular day of worship. For Balaji, there is Saturday. For Lord Shiva, there is Monday. Ganapati, Tuesday? I don't know. Hanuman Tuesday, right? Hanuman Tuesday. Wednesday? Huh? Subramanya Swami. Thursday? Shirdi Sai Baba. Friday? Different goddesses. Mahalakshmi, Ashtalakshmi, so many Lakshmis. Sunday? Trimurtila. Sunday I heard Trimurtis. Okay. So like, Sun God, Surya Dev and Trimurtis also. Yeah. So like that, there is a particular day for every God. But for Krishna, who is the supreme, there is no specific day. Why? Huh? You need to worship Krishna every day, every single day. You need to worship Krishna every single day. Krishna, Vishnu, Narayana, all different forms of supreme. Okay.
Polytheism.
Hmm?
Coming back to polytheism.
Qualities?
Polytheism.
Polytheism, yeah.
We have these devatas.
Yeah.
They are just administrators there for various
Yeah.
positions. Why is it that everybody prays to all of the devatas?
Why is that what?
Why do we pray to the devatas?
Why do we need to pray to devatas? Yeah, good question. So, let me see, the online people are still there. Yes, Sakshi and Ravi, are you still there with us?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, good. Did you get the question? So the question is, with regards to polytheism concept, when we have 33 crore devatas, millions of devatas, So why do we have to pray to them? Isn't it just sufficient to pray to Krishna? Why do we have to pray to different devatas?
It's just for every department we have to like file an application, right? So
Mhm.
33 Koti Devtas are like the like 33 departments.
Yeah.
So it's like we need to like connect to them as well for the
But Krishna
particular.
is like CEO. When you send your application to CEO, you don't have to send an application to individual departments.
Yeah, that's also right.
It's true. If you know the CEO, you don't need to know the department heads. You can directly walk into CEO cabin and ask anything that you want. But the problem is people do not want to know about CEO. That is one reason. Um, Second reason is Krishna. Huh? No, he's approachable. No, he's approachable.
In the material world, I'm talking.
Yeah,
So that's the reason we go to smaller departments
yeah.
to file any of the applications.
No, even in the material world also, the CEO can be easily approachable if you have the right talent. If you have the talent, CEO will come to know about it. You don't have to approach CEO. CEO will come to your home. Yeah. So similarly, if you have a sincere bhakti, Krishna will come to you. You don't have to go through devatas. But still, the prayer or worship of devatas is still given in the Vedas for various reasons. One is when you ask anything, for any material benefit, when you ask these devatas will give you. Whereas the same material benefit, if you ask Krishna, Krishna is like our father, right? Devatas are all these demigods. They are like our uncles, aunties, uh, and yeah, we can say uncles, aunties. Uncle and auntie or grandma, grandpa, if you ask something, if you ask for one biscuit, what will they do? Huh? They'll give? They'll give two. Very good. If you ask for one, they'll give two. But if you ask father or mother, what will they do? Huh? No, the child deserves. Yeah, very good. They will first think, is it good for my child or not? Because biscuit, it has sugar. Some cake or some candy, it has sugar, which is not good for the child. If the child asks once, okay, they'll give. But if the child is asking that too many times, the parents will not give. So the difference between devatas and Krishnas in terms of fulfilling our material desires is that Krishna purifies us and then gives. When we deserve, then he gives us. Whereas devatas give that benediction without purification. Because when you perform some puja, when you pray to these devatas and perform some puja, they get pleased and they have to give the boons. So there are many people in the material world, or the majority of the people in the society, they are like that. They want instant results. They want instant benefits. That's why Vidyarthi labate vidyam, dhanarthi labate dhanam, putrarthi labate putram. They perform all these pujas to get material benefits very quickly. So, whereas Krishna, you have to really prove in front of Hare Krishna. Yeah, you have to really prove in front of him.
We pray to Ganesha, Lakshmi,
Yeah,
all of these people to kind of get material benefits aspects, but not probably to get self-realization and to honor God, but
yeah,
only praying to Krishna can kind of get this.
yeah, yeah.
And I think there are stories where they say that if you pray to the bhaktas of God,
Mhm.
the God is pleased with it. Like, that's why we pray.
In fact, God is more pleased when you worship, when you serve bhaktas than when you serve God Himself. Yeah,
Hanuman, like Shirdi Sai Baba, maybe.
yeah,
So maybe that's why people like pray them so that
yeah. No, it is good to pray or perform some service to the bhaktas of God. But the problem is when the society considers those bhaktas as God and starts worshipping in that mood and forget the real God. See, all those people who worship Shirdi Sai Baba, for them, there's no Krishna, there's no Vishnu, there's no Narayana, there's no other God. For them, Shirdi Sai Baba is the only God. Every Thursday they go to Shirdi Sai Baba temple only, and everything is Shirdi Sai Baba for them, which is good, but they have to know about Krishna, they have to know about Vishnu, Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and worship and serve Shirdi Sai Baba as a spiritual master, as a guru. Yeah. Then he can show us path to connect to Supreme. Yeah. Now all these devatas, for example, when you offer prayers to Ganesha, so Ganesha is known as Vigneshwara, right? Vigneshwara means one who removes obstacles. So the general prayer prayed by people in the society is, "O Vigneshwara, please remove obstacles in my material life so that everything will be happy, everything will be fine, and I'll be happy." But the correct prayer should be, "O Vigneshwara, please remove obstacles on the path of bhakti so that I can reach Krishna. I can reach Vishnu and Narayana." That should be the prayer. Same obstacles, but what's the purpose behind that? Remove obstacles on the path of bhakti, not in my material life. Material desires, actually we don't even have to ask anything from God. God knows what to give to us. In fact, if we ask anything to God, we may be asking for less. We may deserve more, but if you ask a specific thing, that may be lower than what God has planned to give you actually. So the best thing to ask God is, "Oh God, I leave it up to you. You give me what is best for me." There is a small story. Once upon a time in a village, uh, the king of that kingdom, one day it was his birthday. So he was in a very charitable mood. So he goes to a village with that charitable mood, with an intention to give everything that people ask. So he sees one lady. Ayipinda? Okay, almost. So he sees one lady who is carrying a pile of wooden sticks. She was carrying a pile of wooden sticks on her right shoulder. The king approaches her and tells her, uh, "Oh mother, I'm the king of this kingdom. Today is my birthday and I'm in a charitable mood. I can give you anything that you can ask for. So make a wish, you can ask anything." Now what did this lady ask for? This lady asked, "Oh my son, since morning I have been carrying this pile of wooden sticks on this right shoulder. Can you help me shift this load from right shoulder to left shoulder?" That's what she asked. And the king said, "Is that all what you wanted?" Yes, my son. That's all I wanted." And the king, he just lifted the pile of sticks from right shoulder to left shoulder. And the king is right in front of her. She could have asked for a palace. The king was in a very charitable mood. He could have done anything for her. But she asked for a very petty thing. That's why when we ask God for what we want, it may be much lower than what God is planning for us. That's why we should simply say, "Oh God, do what is best for me. I have done my job, do what is best for me. Karmanye vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana." Do your duty and leave the rest to God. Give your best and leave the rest to God. That should be our attitude. I think, yeah, that's all about it. Okay. So we'll stop here, and next week we'll start with a new topic. Thank you everyone for joining. Hare Krishna. We'll continue next week.